Hey, remember when I did Bloodstone season 2 literally like I don't know, like a week ago? And I was like, "Oh man, insert excuse for why it took me over a year to watch season 2." Well, notice how I can't do the same thing for Solar Opposites? I genuinely don't know what the hell took me so long to get to this one. Because if you remember my season 1 review, well, I liked season 1 overall. I thought there were literally no episodes that got under a 4. I guess it's just me trying to find other things to watch. I'm sorry, chat. Hopefully, though, this video will inspire people to go back and watch my season 1 video, which, fair warning, you could tell that's one of my older reviews. Well, also trying to, but then after they watch that one, they can get to this one, which is hopefully, now that's been well over a year. I've hopefully improved, not in my editing skills, but in my ability to comment on episodes. And I won't skip over the wall stuff this time, because that was dumb. I don't know why I did that. I didn't want to spoil, but at the same time, like, you should already be well aware of these episodes if you're watching a damn review of it. 1. Sacred non-repeating number. Blimey. The Solars meet another group of Schlorpians who act like Corvo, so he decides to live with them. Oh man, is Corvo gonna stay with them now? Is this how the show is gonna be from now on? No, but still 4 out of 5. As the first episode, this one was a cool concept. I mean, literally, the whole point, the plot of the show, literally, what the intro song's about is just, oh man, homeworld blew up. So it's cool to see more aliens outside of just like the main 4. Well, technically 5 because Pupa. I simply just like the contrast, seeing how they survive compared to the Solars that we know. It was fun. I liked Corvo's message. Again, none of like the character stuff was like overly deep, but then again, it's like it's solar opposites. This is absolutely not a show where the characters really learn like big lessons or really change for the better. They aren't even really the most likable people, but then again, they're aliens, so I guess they can't be measured by our human standard of good. Mm. Either way, though, I don't really mind that though because I still found this episode to be pretty funny. And I feel like the Solars at least care enough about each other usually to where it doesn't feel out of character when they start like missing Corvo and all that. Plus, to be fair, Corvo is the one keeping them all in check, so makes sense why they would eventually want him back. I guess it's worth bringing up that Yumulak has his own little side story about like trying to get in with these friends, but it had so little screen time I didn't even bother mentioning it in the episode description. No, it was there. I'm only bringing it up now so that way people don't like complain when I don't talk about it. Still, though, I really like this episode. Just seeing more aliens was cool, and there's a lot of good jokes here. Just feels like season 2 is going to pick up right where season 1 was. Considering how much I liked season 1, that's a good thing. 2. Earth Eraser. Hey yo! Corvo and Yumulak ban dinner parties. Meanwhile, we see how the walls evolved after the battle. Alrighty, how is this one? It's a 4 out of 5. I like this one. One of the bigger problems I had with season 1 of Solar Opposites was that the cast felt so segmented. Like it was just Terry and Corvo A plot with a Yumulak and Jesse B plot. I understand we only got 8 episodes and like you're trying to develop things for your first season. You're trying to like figure things out, but like after a while, even though I liked all those episodes, it felt like the format started to get a little old. Last episode changed it up a little bit with Jesse kind of joining in with Terry and Corvo on a conflict, but like this episode, it feels more like really split. I mean, Yumulak as Corvo is a replicant, so it makes sense that he'd follow him in terms of not liking dinner parties and being out of tune in terms of like the whole just being a casual Earth person. Though, and while they took it too far, I have to admit, as an introvert, I do kind of get just not getting social situations and just like completely messing it up. So yeah, But honestly, Terry was a dick, bro. Like you were not supporting your guys at all. Instantly siding with the humans. That's come on, bro. Still though, it's fun. I liked it. Terry and Corvo got a nice moment together. Didn't really like Corvo dissing Yumulak out of nowhere. Like, bro, where's the beef? Still liked it though. That was a good stuff. As for the wall section, since I literally said earlier that I was gonna skip it this time, like I did with season one's review, well, I think it was good. Obviously, the wall stuff, for those who don't know, is like a season-long arcs, kind of giving you a real reason to watch these in order. So, because of that, it could be a little difficult to remember what scene was in which episode. But I remember this stuff being more of just a good, solid opening, showing what happened after the whole war at the end of season one. Literally my favorite episode so far. And I think it did a good job showing the danger and that maybe it's not as peaceful as it seems. But we know the straight up murder, bro. 3. Lake House device. Far out. Corvo sends letters into the past to change Terry. Meanwhile, Yumulak gets a big dong. 3 out of 5. I did not care for this one. That's right. For the first time on this channel, I give a Solar Opposites episode something under a 4. This episode wasn't bad. I didn't even remember it being that different when I watched it as a kid. Because remember, much like Cuphead Show, I really did used to watch Solar Opposites a lot when I was a kid. I remember being so hyped when season 2 came out. And when I first watched this episode, I really didn't think much of it compared to like the rest of the season. But looking back on it, yeah, no, this one's kind of just mid. Neither plotline was that funny or engaging. They're both like too simple, and the jokes I don't think were funny enough to really make up for it. The Terry and Corvo plot's pretty basic. It's just Terry's dumb, so Corvo tries to make him not dumb. Didn't we have that episode last season where like they went to college? I know they go in different directions, but it feels like the same episode template sort of. And this was just a worse version of that. Only part I liked from it, and honestly the best part of the whole episode, was like the Up parody scene. Not even because it was funny. The joke was just that Terry's evil. No, what I liked was that simply because I love that scene so much from the original movies, even seeing a parody of it was just nice. Even if it still wasn't like the most best parody in the world or anything. The Yumulak plot, I honestly didn't really like at all. I know Yumulak's an alien, but that's still a minor, bro. I don't want to see his man size. Yo, if you understood that reference, then you awesome. For real though, that plot was a little uncomfortable. And what's the joke? Men who have big dicks get like a lot, and like very successful. I wish it was more about Yumulak just dealing with bullies. That honestly seemed like a funner episode premise. Overall, middle of the road. Nothing too unwatchable, but again, neither plotline really gives me a reason to ever want to watch this one again. 4. Emergency Urbanizer. Woohoo! The solar opposites survive the woods. Meanwhile, Hulk figures out the wall murders. Okay, this is a 5 out of 5. We had to wait towards like the second half of season 1 before we got the 5s. But here, we're still we're not even technically halfway through yet, and we already got like a great episode. Even as a kid, this was always one of my favorite episodes. And I'm glad to see that rewatching as an adult, technically an adult, I mean, I'm 18 in like roughly a month. I'm happy to report that, yeah, it's still peak. Man, I love this thing so much. The solar plot feels so Family Guy in the way it's presented. Like much like a Family Guy episode, it's like, oh, we're doing this thing, and now this thing, and now this thing. Because at first it's a Corvo and Terry trying to send the kids off to camp because they don't want to deal with them for the summer. But then it turns into them all being lost in the woods. But then they have to use a machine to make the woods turn into like pretty much just your standard city. The plot changes so much. I could see why someone wouldn't like this episode that much if you really hate that type of episode structure. And as someone who has slowly who slowly loved Family Guy less and less over time. I admit I also grow wary of it, but I think doing it every once in a while is okay, especially if you're funny, like a lot of peak early Family Guy was. In this episode, I find to be very funny. I love a lot of the jokes in this one. Highlight has to be when Corvo tries to do his own mafia story, but then the wolves just won't stop hurting him. Honestly, fair play on Corvo for hitting on the wolves. They're assholes, bro. Hashtag not a wolf lover. Well, I guess they're kind of cute. Obviously, that's only one half. We also get more of the wall stuff, and yeah, it's still pretty good. I like how they just let Hulk be the detective because, like, he wrote on Bowens. I know almost nothing about Bowens. Was that like, should I review Bowens chat? I don't know. But it was still good. I still like the wall stuff a lot. Again, it's a little against. I'm starting to realize why I didn't talk about it in my season one review because, again, it's a season long arc, so all of it kind of blends together into one thing. But if memory serves correct, this part in this episode was also good. I liked it a lot. It ends with Hulk getting the guy who he thinks is the murderer. We'll have to wait next time though to see how that resolves, or just continues. You know what I mean, you know. 5. Rad, awesome, terrific Ray. Oh no! Terry and Corvo re-encounter the Red Goobler. Meanwhile, the replicants cheat on a marathon. Don't have much to say. I like this episode. It's cool that they brought back something from season one and just doing a sequel episode. I'm glad we got to see the Red Goobler again. I remember as a kid being super shocked to see this dude again. I thought when like he survived at the end of season one, they were just gonna just leave it off, but no, they actually brought him back, and that's cool. I like what they did with him too, making him just a chill guy now. Well, that is until Corvo ends up, you know, it gets a little weird between them, but then they try to rectify it before the Goobler just hates them again by the end. But honestly, fair enough. Terry and Corvo are dicks. So yeah, the Terry and Corvo stuff is good. I mean, Corvo trying to throw the Red Goobler a bachelor party, while Terry tries to get his wife, who has been turned into a rat. Do not ask. Just watch the episode for the context. It's funny though. It's very funny. I do high key feel bad for the Red Goobler though. I mean, bro was just trying to have a nice normal life, but no, I guess he just can't. Nah, it's a little sad, but at least Jen's happy as a rat. I don't have a lot to say about the replicant plot line. Not that because it was bad, but because it was just okay. I mean, it did give us a lesson Eliza, which made a pretty freaking sweet YouTube short on that. So, that's cool. Overall, though, episode's good, but on the lower end of good. Definitely one of the lesser good of the season. But then again, if this is one of the lower episodes, it proves just how damn good this season is because I still like this episode. There's still a lot of good jokes in here, so can't be too upset about it. And if you're upset about it, then to click off the video. Why are you still watching? Even if you do agree, why the hell are you watching this video anyway? Go watch a better YouTube video, bro. That's right. I'm actively telling you to stop. Stop. Get some help. 6. Apple Pencil Pro. Dinner time. The Solars go to prison. Meanwhile, Hulk interrogates Ethan and finds out the wall's secrets. Alright, this is a 4 out of 5. I mostly like this one for the wall stuff. The Solar plot's fun. I like them in prison. It's funny. Admittedly, the ending and just the ending reveal was kind of odd. I remember thinking it was super clever as a kid. I'm sorry I keep referencing my childhood, but like, bro, this show was my childhood. It feels so weird because it's not a show that children should watch. Eh, anyway, but yeah, it was looking back on it like as an almost adult, pretty much. It's not bad, but like not anything special. Again, though, most of it I do like. I like to just them being in a situation because they're so like socially awkward and have no idea how the hell like human stuff works that they just completely make a whole mockery of it. Even more than usual, this one was just dumb fun. Like they really couldn't care less about them in prison. So I, as a viewer, don't care about them in prison, which again is fine because it's a super funny episode. Again, though, that wall stuff really is the highlight here. Seeing Tim and how he is now compared to season one self is very cool. And seeing Hulk, sorry, he's not the Incredible Hulk. He's the average enough Hulk. Seeing him having to like decide on like a decision on how like the wall should move going forward was very suspenseful. And while some people might not like the decision he chose, I believe honestly, given the way Tim made it all sound, I can kind of see where bro's coming from. Not saying I agree with him or have done the same, but then again, I wouldn't know because I'm not in that situation. I didn't piss off an alien child, so he struck me down to a wall, bro. All in all, though, it's a good episode. The solar stuff is dumb fun, while the wall stuff genuinely gets super interesting. I liked the wall stuff before, but this ending part is chef's kiss. Also, don't ask why it's called Apple Pencil Pro. I don't know what they do in these episode titles, bro. It's weird. 7. The unlikely demise of Terry's favorite shot glass. Oops. Terry is in this thing for like one scene. It's really about how Sherry has been doing since season 1. I forgot how to say your name for a second. Sherry, dear. Sherry? Pretty sure. Anyway, it's a 5 out of 5, and it's my favorite episode so far. Really was struggling between whether this or the season 1 big wall episode. It was very tough, but in the end, I think I have to give the edge to this one. This one took things very seriously. It was so you really felt there for her. Both Cher and especially the Duke are at their highest form in this episode. They are at their peak in terms of being characters for me. The Duke is just a highlight. He is probably my favorite part. Him in this episode is my favorite part of the entire show so far. I love almost all of his scenes in this episode. I love how he's still kind of a douche in the beginning, but as it goes on, he grows and gets a real redemption arc. That's so awesome. And his sacrifice was so noble. R.I.P. the Duke, bro. Or I guess. Damn, I didn't type down his real name. Whatever his real name is, R.I.P. And yes, I know I watched the episode like hours ago, but shut up. I have a horrible memory sometimes. My memory's either peak or horrible, no in between. It's difficult for me to comment on this one without just saying watch it because again, I don't want to get overly spoilery, but let's just say the way everything, just her whole journey was very impactful, very well done, very entertaining, and just a very peak episode. Honestly, go watch it. I mean, you'd have to watch like pretty much at least all of season 1 first before even understanding the context behind this one. But when you're done with season 1, go watch it. You should probably watch all of season 2 at least up to this point now as well, though, right? Because otherwise you won't get the ending. The ending would make a little more sense too. Whatever. Peak episode. Love this one. 10 out of 10. No notes. So. 8. The solar opposites almost get an Xbox. Finally. The solar opposites learn about death and try to become fulfilled. This is another classic. 5 out of 5. This is another one where I could see people not liking it or thinking it's dumb. Well, I find it super hilarious. So I love seeing them just. Again, I think it works so well because they are aliens. This could only work when you're dealing with main characters that don't understand basic human stuff. Again, the Solars don't work like humans work. They're Schlorpians. We're not Schlorpians. But Aziz can dream. Aziz can dream that he can meet a Schlorpian. Now that he wants to be one. Being a people is bro. Being a people? What the hell? Just accept it. Anyway, seeing them all just like from them trying to help out this water polo team that they purposefully made shit, by the way, to them just trying to make do random tasks to become fulfilled. It's all very funny stuff. I can understand why the soldiers trying to kill each other might come off as a little bad or dumb, but at the end of the day, well, I do believe the soldiers do care about each other, but they are also kind of all messed up. Even Jessie, although she's probably like the least messed up. So yeah, I don't know. I can see it. It feels in character. And it doesn't make me like not believe in them as a family because again, they're aliens. I feel like it's kind of the joke and part of the point. If this was like the Griffins or like the Simpsons or two or even the Smiths, I feel like I'd be upset. But the Solars, bro, nah, this is just an average Tuesday for them, bro. On a more personal note, I've always been afraid of the concept of death. Death is my biggest fear of all time, bro. I could do a whole Z-Man extra about it if you really want me to go more in depth about it, but pretty much just to say a little bit, it's something I've always been very uncomfortable with. It's something I've had to accept that's going to happen eventually, but I don't like thinking about it. And I felt this way like way more when I was a kid. So seeing this show, this dumb little comedy, be so okay about it, honestly made me feel a little bit more better about the situation. So maybe I'm giving it the max rating because of personal bias. But gosh diggity darn it, this is my list, my rankings. I can do whatever the hell I want. And to me, this one gets the max rating. Oh yeah, people change color by the way. 9. A very solar holiday opposite special. Ho, ho, ho. The Solars travel inside Christmas movies. Meanwhile, Pupil reunites a family. Okay, I gotta explain this one a little bit for the for all the losers who don't know about this one. Okay, so pretty much originally, episode 8 was the final one, and much like season 1, it was just 8 episodes. But then a couple months later, they drop episode 9. But on Hulu, they didn't list it as like a episode 9. They listed it as holiday special. So back when I watched the show on Hulu and Disney Plus and all that, I was super confused. I was like, should I count this as season 2? I eventually did, which I'm glad I did because now I'm watching it on Netflix, and on Netflix they do just count as episode 9. So thank you Netflix for not making things hella confusing. So even though last episode was really more of the real finale, consider this more of a fun little bonus episode. But is it actually fun? I think so. I think it's a 4 out of 5. Blah blah blah. You know my spiel on Christmas episodes if you've seen my channel long enough. I don't gotta go over it every time. But for someone who doesn't really care for Christmas episodes a whole lot, I feel like whenever I review one, I always end up liking it, which makes me feel super hypocritical. I promise you, I'm not usually a fan of Christmas episodes. I'm just getting a really good streak so far. I think I just like how twisted this one is. Like it's super dumb. They riff on Jingle All the Way, a movie I have never seen, and honestly don't want to see. I want this episode to be the only way I know about Jingle All the Way, bro. I don't gotta watch the film itself. This would just disappoint me because it can't be as peak as this episode. The pupil plot, though, was genuinely heartwarming, which is weird to say for this show because it's usually the exact opposite. But I mean this in a good way. Like I like that it's heartwarming here. Like they genuinely care about showing you how good Christmas can be. Because the dad's son was a little bit bi. Damn. So while not really the season finale, it's still a good way to send the season off. Alrighty, now the list. The bottom is painfully obvious. At number 9, only 3 out of 5, or episode below a 4, we have Lake House Device. Now with the majority, the 4s, we have Rad Awesome Terrific Ray, Earth Eraser, Apple Pencil Pro, a very solar holiday opposite special, and sacred non-repeating number. Now the top 3, the 5 out of 5s, the please go watch these ones. The solar opposites almost get an Xbox. emergency urbanizer, and the unlikely demise of Terry's favorite shot glass is obviously my favorite. Yeah, the season's better than season one. I know the season has a 3, whereas the season 1 is completely flawless. But I'd take one mid episode if the rest of the season was so completely good to great. It feels just improved compared to season 1. Like, this season isn't just a Terry and Corvo A plot, Yumi like a Jesse B plot. Like, no, things really get to. It feels like we expand more. All the Solars feel like they have more well-developed personalities. They can really bounce off each other. They're all weird and freaky and kind of evil, but in a good way. That's funny. It's not like later Family Guy where we're all just dicks to each other, like because they don't know how to write them and because they're all just funny joke machines. No, and here it feels like that's kind of the point. Like you're really meant to feel these people as like the most wild aliens imaginable. And I like that. I like that. I like that overall. I think it's good that the show has its own identity other than just being the other Rick and Morty. So yeah, overall, I really like season two. Well, I think it's definitely a step up from season one. Very well made, and I'm very happy I finally got to watch season two. Well, seriously, should not have taken me this long. I genuinely apologize. Hopefully, season three will not take. I will not take this long to get to season three. And with that, I'll see you guys next time. Peace.